Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Amelia Automotive, and today we have something a bit different on the channel, something you might not even recognise yourself. This week, this car, out of all the cars I've now driven, has got the most attention. People have been looking at the badge thinking, what on earth is that? Because you don't see many of these on British roads. Now this is the Genesis GV70 and it's the luxury arm of Hyundai. It's fully electric and this is my second time having an electric car on the channel, so let's have a look around it and see how it performs.
Let's talk stats and then we'll go on to price. So the 0 to 62 time is just 4.8 seconds, but with a boost it's 4.2. We've got an impressive 700 Nm of torque and 245 PS. The range is claimed to be 283 miles and that's with a 77.4 kWh battery. The starting price is £64,405. However, this has a lot of optional extras, which brings it to £78,500. This includes the Innovation Pack, the Comfort Seat Pack, the Napa leather seats, 20-inch alloys, audio system, Convenience Pack and Second Row Comfort Pack. There's a lot of extra extras in this car.
Now I think we've already established a few things. Number one, this car is very expensive. Number two, it's got some great performance statistics. Now, is it worthy of the price tag? We'll have a look and you can decide. But it does have a dual motor, so does that make a lot of difference? Let me know in the comments. I will also say that you get Genesis Difference, which is a We Come To You service, which you get 5-year warranty, 5-year servicing and roadside assistance. So if you do have a service, they come to your house with a Genesis, leave you with that Genesis, take your car and then deliver your car back. I think that's pretty good, but you are paying a premium, so maybe that should come with it anyway. Let's address the elephant in the room. It looks a bit like a Bentley, and I'm here for it. It does look really nice. It's half the price of a Bentley Bentayga, even with all the optional extras. So let's talk about it. It's got these split headlights, which are really modern. Obviously, it doesn't have a real grille because it's not petrol or diesel, but we do get a diesel and petrol version of it. We have the sensors and the lights at the front, and we also have this, which I think is super innovative. It's the electric charging point, which is here at the front of the car. I don't actually know why more people don't do this, because when I was plugging it in this week, it was so handy just to be able to pull in front of a charger and just plug your car in. Super practical. Right, onto the rear of the car. So the split tail light design continues at the rear, and I think it's really nice. It's very simple, but it's sporty looking, and I really like the spoiler as well. Now the boot. We have just over 500 litres of boot space, but we do lose a bit of space because it is electric. Now I will say, for the dog, this is quite high up to jump, but the good thing is there is no boot lip, so you can slide things on easily. And I did put a suitcase in here and it was super easy just to slide it in, and there you go. We also have a 3-point pin plug at the back.
And some nifty storage underneath where you can store your chargers.
Super practical. All you need in a boot. So the Genesis also has something that means you can park somewhere that's a bit tight and the car will move forward or backwards for you with the key. So let's lock it and then hold onto the hold button. Now the problem is here is because it's electric, you don't actually know when the car's turned on. So let's see. That is so scary, isn't it? Right, and then you take the key off and you press the back button to go back. And obviously it bings because it's electric and you can't hear it. I think that's so handy if you are in a tight parking space, where I know all of us have been at some point. For a car to be able to do that is excellent. You just hope it stops when you stop, which is, I'm sure it would. I don't see there being a problem, but I wonder what happened if you just carried on. I'm assuming it would stop itself. Okay, so there's a bush here and it stops itself before it went to the bush. So that is a good question asked. As you can see, it stopped with ample room and it didn't crash. So I know a lot of your questions will be, will it? Ah, I've got the power. Whoa. There you go. That is so cool. I'm sorry, that is so cool. The first thing I'll say about the interior is when you get in, the steering wheel goes to your position and so does the seat, which is so nice. Really, really nice actually. Also, I will say with the seats, you can move them forward and backwards from here, which is so practical. You wouldn't think you need it until you do. So my nan this week, she struggles to get into cars sometimes, and just being able to do this is so useful. Also, if you need to use it for someone in the back. Again, the quality in here is fantastic. It's such premium quality. Everything feels lovely. The quilted seats are fabulous, and I love that we have these colour seat belts, which you don't normally see. You don't normally see cream seat belts, and I think it looks really nice against the stitching. Again, we have the lovely roof, which is an organic range apparently, and it's very soft to touch. So we have the gear selector here, which you literally just turn really easily, which is good, but you have to learn how to use it. Let's talk about the infotainment system. So works super well. We have physical buttons in the mix here, which I know you guys absolutely love, and so do I. It's so much easier having buttons. So we have a mixture of sort of touchscreen and buttons. The climate control is really easy to use. We've got heated and we've got cooling seats as well, which are an optional extra, I will say. And we've got simple buttons here for the map, nav, radio, media setup, and that's that. So we also have the volume, and you can tune your radio really easily. And the gear selector is nice and simple to use. I will say the cameras are incredible for this car. They are 360 degrees cameras that work for ages when you're driving about 10 miles an hour, which is fantastic. I think it's really, really, really useful. Right, so my seat position at the front is for me, who is 5'9", and I sit comfortably in the back. We have 2 cup holders here, which feel quite premium, but this does hang quite low. It doesn't really go straight, which hurts my OCD just a little bit, but it's fine. We have climate control adjusters with heated seats here, and 2 USB plugs, not USB-C in this. Some of you will like that, some of you won't. It's really, really nice quality in here, and I absolutely love the quilted seats, really do love them. This feels a little bit cheap. There's certain places in this car where it feels a little bit cheap, like the door bins. They're not lined with anything. You'd think they'd be lined with that almost velvet, but everything else feels really nice, and we have a lovely roof. With the panoramic sunroof, which is also an optional extra, you'll get the vibe that there is a lot of optional extras in this car. And I think you have to take that into account with this car. I think if you're getting one, heated seats are an optional extra, and that's quite crazy to me in a car like this. But I think you have to just consider that when you're buying the car, that this car is not just starting at, you actually have to add a lot of optional extras with this car to make it as premium as this car feels. But it feels so premium. It feels like a 130 grand car. It feels like double the price even with the optional extras. It's beautiful, beautiful quality. Although there are some scratchy plastics which do make you realise the real price. Right, it's time to go for a drive now, and this is my second electric car loan, and I am pleasantly surprised. Like I said with the Skoda Enyaq, I don't know if it's where it's a big car, but I don't get that motion sickness in this car. It doesn't necessarily feel electric. It's really nice to drive, it's really smooth. The only time you do realise it is when the regen braking hits, which we'll talk about later. Now, it's got a 700 Nm of torque and a 0 to 62 time with the boost. So without the boost it's 4.8 seconds, which is still really good, but with the boost it's 4.2 seconds. And I'll show you soon when we go for a drive. It makes my head go back. It's so quick. I don't know how often you'd use that power, but to have it is pretty cool. And to be honest, I will be honest and say, I think electric cars have to be quick to be enjoyable. Because you've got that instant throttle response, you've got instant electric power, you need it to be responsive. I think without it, it's just like, meh. You don't get that feeling of it changing through the gears, do you? But see, look, I just turned it off. I thought it was on, I turned it off and I thought it was on. Wait, yeah, it was on. I don't know. Ready to start driving. Right, let's slow it down a bit. Right, this is 0 to 62 without the boost. And it's quick, don't get me wrong, it feels quick. It's instantly responsive, as you would think. I will say, okay, and I'm being completely honest here, it doesn't actually handle very well. Now, it's a massive thing. It's over 2 tons and it's got 0 to 62 time of 4.2 seconds. So I don't know what I was expecting. However, I was expecting it to be a bit more planted on the road and a bit less wallowy. Oh my gosh, boost mode instantly gives it a boost, as you would think. Boost mode, it gives you 10 seconds. Bloody how on earth can that be, what, 0.6 of a second, but it feels so different. Ready? Let's do it again, it's fun. Oh my giddy auntie, that is quick. Oh, it makes my stomach go. That actually makes my stomach hurt. In a good way. It's like a roller coaster. That's so much fun. Try to do it again. Better keep doing it. I'm not looking forward to looking back at the faces I'm pulling. Yeah, do you know what though? It is completely all over the road. I mean, it's got brilliant tyres on. It's got Pilot Sport 4s, I believe. Really good tyres, but it's because it is so big, it doesn't handle very well. I think that the Enyaq I drove actually handled better, but then that was a lot slower. What do you expect from a car this size? So obviously this is a massively heavy car. It's over 2 tons. So it's said that it's meant to be about 280 miles of range. Now I've been getting about 220 on a full charge, which I think is okay, but it's not a lot, is it? Like, unless you have a home charger, for me, I don't think this would work because unfortunately not everyone has access to a home charger. At the moment I've got one at home because it was gifted to me, and I'm very fortunate with that through Simpson and Partners. Now, they are good chargers, I will say, but if you don't have access to that, how are you meant to have an electric car? It makes it completely different having a charger at home, because it makes it that bit more affordable and practical. Because someone like me that's not doing that many miles every day, I plug it in, I go, I bring it home, I plug it in again, and it's ready to go. Now, I did a supercharger and it charges really quickly from, I think it's 10 to 80 seconds in under 20 minutes, which is brilliant because time has always been a thing that has, time is of the essence. Time is the most valuable thing. Now, that did cost a lot of money. I was on about 50% and it went up to 90. And I know you're not meant to charge past 80. I learned that in my last video because it trickle charges after 80%, so it's a lot of money if you didn't know. I really genuinely love this car, and I would really be interested to try the combustion engine because I love that it's different. I love that people are looking at it and thinking, what is that? There's a question, and it looks fantastic. It drives amazingly. Obviously the range isn't the best, but what would you expect from a performance electric car? None of them have brilliant range. Other than that, I think this is a fantastic little car. I would like to try a combustion engine to see how that performs, because at this stage that is probably what I would buy. However, it's whatever fits your lifestyle. If an electric car works for you right now, then do it. Why not? But it's nice that we have the options for both. So we actually don't have flappy pedals that are conventional in a combustion engine. We actually have regenerative. I can never say that word. So I'm going to say the word that you all commented in my last video, regen braking. That is what I'm going to do because I'm down with the electric car slang now. Yeah. But it has different levels and you can basically brake with it, and I think once you learn the distance and the time taken for each sort of level, you could use it in daily driving really easily. I mean, it helps you get the miles back up, so why wouldn't you use it? It does make my passengers feel a little bit sick though, I will say, because that is the part of the regen, is that in my stomach, like a roller coaster stopping. It's like, oh, stopping by itself. Cruise control has worked really well. See, I just used it just then. I just took my foot off and it just did a little brake for me, and then I carried on. Fantastic. So you've made it to the end of another video. Thank you for staying. So what do you guys think of the car? I really like it. I keep wanting to call it a Bentley, but it's not. It's a Genesis, and it's done well. The car is done really well. Everything about this car screams luxury, and I know it's expensive compared to its competitors, but you have to put this right at the top end of the luxury sector because it deserves it. Everything about this car is luxurious apart from those door bins, which do annoy me. Why little things like that do annoy me? Let me know in the comments if that annoys you too. But I think honestly, I'm not sure if I would get the electric version of this because the diesel seems so good with the miles per gallon. Now, if you're doing short journeys, I think that's fantastic. You can just plug it in at home and then you're off you go. But obviously you have to have a home charger. Not everyone has that available. With these performance electric cars, you are going to be skimping on range, but it just depends. What do you want? What is your niche? What do you need in a car? This will definitely cater to some, and I think it's a fantastic luxury electric SUV. Thank you for watching, and make sure to comment, like and subscribe for my next video. See you later.